Hello and welcome to Quick Tips, and in this video I'll be showing you how you can create armatures to paint your individual components. Now for this tutorial you will need the following items. First of all, you'll need a cork in which to hold onto the component with. You'll need some super glue, a component to actually paint, and in this case I've got Khan the Betrayer's backpack, a pin vise, a hobby knife, some clippers, and also some metal wire that's roughly the same thickness as the drill bit in your pin vise. So with all the items we need for this tutorial, let's get started. The first task is to decide where to put the pin on the miniature. Now what we want to do is want to take into consideration two facts. First of all, we need somewhere that's thick enough to take a few millimeters worth of wire inside it, and we also need to make sure that the area that we drill isn't going to be visible after we've assembled the miniature. In this case I'm going to be drilling in a small hole just in the back of the backpack you just about to see there using my pin vise. So we just want to take the component here, take the pin vise, just very carefully start drilling a hole just a few millimeters into the surface. With the hole completed, we now want to affix the wire. So I'm going to be using some super glue with the wire. Now I've kept it on the rest of the coil here, because we don't really know exactly how much wire we need for this stage, but I'm going to bring in my super glue here. I'm going to apply a very small amount to the tip of the wire here. Just about to see there. I don't want to apply too much, just a very small amount so it's easier to remove later on. Then we're going to take the component and the wire and place the wire just inside the hole there. And when that's fixed, we're going to wait to hold it there for a few seconds and just wait for the glue to dry. So at this stage you should have a wire with a component attached on the end. Now the next step is to bring in our cork, which we'll actually be holding onto when painting this component. So we need to work out how much excess we need overhanging out of the cork. Now if it's too long, then you'll find that it becomes very bendy and quite flexible, and if it's too short you'll find yourself struggling because you can't paint the insides because the cork's in the way. So roughly about an inch or so, maybe a little bit more depending on your preference, is ideal. Now we want to measure that inch and then bring in some clippers and cut another maybe about ½ an inch down the wire like so. And once you've done this, you can bring back the cork, and I've already pre-drilled some holes into the surface of here, but you can just use your pin vise for this. And I'm going to be placing the wire inside the cork like so. It should go in quite easily, and then once that's fixed I'm going to use my super glue just to affix the wire inside. So at this stage you should have a component which is attached to the piece of cork, and it is ready for painting now. Now this gives you full freedom to paint all the way around the actual component without the paintbrush getting in the way of other components. Now when you actually come to assembling the miniature again, you will want to bring in your hobby files, and then you want to clip off this cable here. You can see there we're going to press these flush against the surface and then clip that off. I won't do it in this case as I actually want to paint this component. Once you've done that, you'll need to maybe file down the area using a hobby knife or a hobby file, and that'll just really create a nice smooth surface to glue again. Now before gluing, one of the things you need to do is to remove the paint from both components. So in this case we'll be removing the paint from roughly around this area here inside this dip. You could actually use a piece of blue tack when priming as well, just to mask off that area. And the same goes for the other side. In this case it's Khan the Betrayer, and I'll be removing the paint from this section here and then gluing them together. Now you could use plastic glue on plastic miniatures, but I found that super glue works best as it can just provide a little bit of a stronger bond between these components as well. So that's it for this episode of Quick Tips. Now if you enjoyed this video or have any suggestions of areas you would like me to cover in future Quick Tip videos, please do let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe and check out my Facebook and Instagram, which you can find links to in the description below, to be kept up to date with all of my future videos. Additionally, if you'd like to support me in making future quick tip videos as well as my other painting tutorials, you can do so by checking out my Patreon page, which you can find a link to on screen now or in the description below. From there, you can donate to me from as little as $1 a month, which just really help me in producing future content. So until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.